Good weekend. It is the 17th of September 2011. We'll take a look at silver on multiple time frames, a few other charts. I also want to go over a few of the goals that I've had within my life. But first, let's start off within the 6 hour chart. And we have the pattern of what is now three lower highs. Now, this current one hasn't established yet that it is a high, for they are known after the fact. But if we continue to go lower, then if it's visible this is a high, it would be that of a lower one. As far as these lows, we got one low, another lower low, and another one. So the pattern is most obviously that of a downtrend within the short term time frame. Now within the blog, this is the same chart, and what's interesting, if you click on any one image, a new thing will come up, and you can click on all of the different images very fast that are on the page, and there's 10. So the ones I'll be going over is the daily, the weekly, the 3 day, the monthly, the quarter year, the half year, another quarter day but longer. Same thing. This is volatility on the quarter day and that of the daily chart. And you do that just by clicking on the image on the blog. But before we get towards this, I want to go through just a few of the different dreams that I've had within my life and see how they play out today. First one, starting in grade school, which is the late 1980s to approximately the year 2001. So a 1 decade and a half dream or so, and that's to have my own television show where I control what programming is on. And I really have to give this one a check mark. Now, I didn't expect it to be through YouTube or any way as it has been, but hey, it's worked out. So that one is a check mark. High school to year one college. Director of marketing for Coca-Cola. Yeah, you know what? I look back and I kind of shake my head. Why? And then I go to the first year of college and I realize that marketing was not my thing. In business, well, it was either going to have to be something in the computer field or accounting. So I gave that one up. And well, the mid to late 1990s, I decided, yeah, it would be accounting. I can kick ass in doing that type of stuff. And well, then I got a reality check on what a higher level accounting happens to be, which in Canada would be used as a CGA or a CMA. Very similar to that in the United States. And then the work was not only difficult, but you know what I didn't like? And I look back today, accounting is like banking and legal industries. It's really not a beneficial thing for macro consciousness, in my opinion. 1999. The goal is to become a computer programmer and make a lot of fiat cash in this industry. Granted, at this time, I did not even know what the word fiat meant or that the economy was a ticking time bomb. For 11 years leading up to this year, using Q and Visual Basic and regular Basic on the Commodore 64 and the PC, the early computers, was extremely easy for me. And just like today, where I can take very basic programming codes with intermediate to advanced mathematical formulations, I can do it quite a bit, and I could do it quite a bit back then. But after going through what other forms of programming happen to be, this is not for me. Early 2000s to 2009. That's to become a multi-millionaire as a gambler and win the World Series of Poker. Well, I didn't become a multi-millionaire or really anything even close to that. And I learned a lot about gambling because I knew in 2000 that only the select few could win. And although on top, it's extremely a very difficult industry. Now, as far as the World Series of Poker, that is no longer a dream of mine. And no offense, but that really has a lot to do with the United States of America. In fact, I have only once, one day in my life, ever played poker on American soil. That was one afternoon and one evening, and you can say America, love it or leave it, and I have to honestly say that I sure loved leaving it. And therefore, I don't really want to do much gambling, but as far as winning a major poker tournament, maybe in Australia, the tournament they have in January, or the Crown tournament, I can't remember offhand what it's called, as well as the World Series Poker of Europe. But I'm waiting for Canada to have a really good tournament. But even then, it's a lot of luck. It's a lot of luck on the short term. So that's more of just a hobby or a goal type thing. It's got nothing to do with business or financial anymore. So whatever. 2007 to current. Find out a way to live in this world without money and work towards macro prosperity. It took about a year or so to find the Zeitgeist movement, or Zeitgeist resource-based economy, after I was just sitting down one night and thinking there's got to be a way where we can just eliminate the exchange of currency, but at the same point, everybody still have the goals in which they want fiat currency for. Again, I didn't know what fiat meant then, but that is, if we can get the food people want, all the fun that people want, it could probably all be done. And I knew there was a way. And I still believe that this is something I could work towards. So this is still a dream. Mid 2000s to current. Become an NFL head coach or offensive coordinator with control of the offensive personnel and playbook. And that's why this year I'm going very aggressive within the Derek's Diary channel, within football content, because if it's a goal, I got to work towards getting it. And that means even making a better playbook than the one I have, which is pretty much strictly in my head. All right, now let's move on back to the technical analysis. And I think the reason why I want to point that, not to promote the channel, but to realize that the investing in economics, that's not a dream of mine, and it never has been a dream. But when you wake up and you find out that the entire world is in major danger, then it's probably best to get off of your butt and do something about it. So in 2008, I decided as a gambler that it was a good calculated decision where I would have long-term positive equity or return on investment by using such a execution to play silver. That's the big reason why. And I think it's important for a lot of people, whether you're into art, whether you're into anything, everybody's into currency because they need it to live. Therefore, I think it's important for everybody to spend a little time and figure out how they want to do their investments, even though investing may mean absolutely crap to them. There, I've said it. Okay, now let's go on and move towards the charts, because one of my skills and things I still enjoy doing is mathematical calculations and just having a lot of fun, that stuff that I find to be fun. Okay, all right, so the quarter day chart, we've already talked about that. Within the daily chart, I can't do drawing tools on here, but I can easily copy this image and paste it onto my paint program. So if I have to, I will. But hopefully you can follow along. I got this arrow here. You should be able to see it. It changes how the picture of... I got a little arrow with a thumbs up, a pinky finger up. You probably don't get that because my computer automatically changes it. However, you got these higher highs and this high, or higher lows, excuse me. Let me just save it and bring it up. Okay, so you have these lows in here. We still have yet to make a lower low within this level here, but we've already made a lower high. So it's very important to just do something to change the trend, because it's getting extremely neutral. But that's, I guess, to be expected. A lot of it is holding the 38.11 mark. These Fibonacci lines are changing, and starting, I think, on Monday or Tuesday, it'll be back and fine. But 38.11, this, as long as it holds above that, then things are doing fairly well, and that's pretty much exactly what's happening. All right. 3-day chart. This has got the 50-day moving average on it. So before it was resistance, now it's been support. But overall, we're still within this range. I think that'll look better when I show you the whole quarter day or daily chart with many different candles. Weekly chart. The 18-period average, support in here. And now it's been a level of support ever since the May fall. So all of May, all of June, all of July, all of August, and so far of September. 4.5 months consolidation thus far. That's building up a lot of energy, in my opinion, for these more longer term charts, like the monthly chart, which has managed to come back down, find a level of support at the 18-period average of highs, and once this thing's ready to go, it can keep on exploding, sort of like we've seen in here and in here, because that's what happened within here. We had this long period where it was correcting, and then once the correction was over and it was ready to get going, boom, it really got going. Quarter year chart. And there's no reason to be bearish whatsoever. And what really, it's better to talk about this on the half-year chart. But what really makes me wonder is why people got panicked with this selling candle, because you should know this chart. If you are a silver investor, the silver log has been available for many, many months, close to a year and a few months anyway. And I've been showing these types of charts for quite some time. If you're using a linear chart, you are at a huge disadvantage, and because you're using the linear chart, you see the candle move down big. That might scare you, but this is normal bullish and extremely bullish trading behavior. This is the 6th consecutive half year of up action. There was this nice size move in here, but it just brings us back down to the consolidation period. Let's move back on, and I've said this again, it's below the 1980 highs. That should be exciting to know that it was suppressed. It's got a long ways to go before we could even start to say, hey, wait a second, is silver overvalued? And what level do we state that silver is overvalued? I don't even think 75, 76 is big enough yet. That's my level. As long as silver is below $75, $78 an ounce, it's a major steal. It's always been that way until, of course, sometimes it won't be. So that's why I say 75, 78, a major steal below, because ultimate end game is anything below there, profits should be easy. The quarter day chart really, on the long point of view, really shows the sideways action. And for the most part, until we have a break below 32, I'm going to go back to that in a second. Before we have a break below 32, or a break above 50, I really don't show much interest in this. And because of that, I may do a couple videos a week or just a little bit here and there, because there really isn't much for me to talk about. As far as the shorter term type stuff, well, now and then, yeah, but once again, it's just consolidating. And I think you can see it well on the daily chart, because we have the orange line. The orange line is a representation of a front-weighted 50-day moving average. The blue line is the volume-weighted average price since the August 24 breakout. And the purple level represents a regular 200-day moving average, not front-weighted, but regular. And if you are wondering, a front-weighted 200-day moving average did find support somewhere in here, just to let you know, but not the regular. All right. So we'll start off with the volume-weighted average price. Normally speaking, whenever it's rising from whatever period it is, in this case it's August the 24th, and you're above it, the buyers are in control. Guess what? The buyers are in control. And very oftentimes when you get a nice little pull away from it, and the market sells off, the sell-offs are guilty until proven innocent, and oftentimes it finds support at the VWAP. Well, boom, it found support here in February. Again, it found support in May, and it stayed within that support level really until, into July, and then right in here, this move right where my finger is pointing in here, between this and the 50-day moving average. That's when it broke from it. The 50-day moving average, which was resistance, has now become support. It has dipped below this, but again, at this point, just barely, and again, front weighted average. The regular 50-day moving average, I honestly don't know where it would be, but I presume it's probably in and around that area. And as far as the volatility is concerned, I've said before that you can almost get a story for this type of chart, where if I take random variables from this point up here and put them in any random mathematical spot, that this image in here would be majorly choppy with no story whatsoever. Well, here's the story. This from the start of it up until really here, there's a decent story, and now it's just getting extremely choppy. But in reality, what this is telling us is a lot of short-term indecision. And for myself, that means absolutely pretty much a bunch of crap, with the exception of trying to time buy orders. That's all that means for me right now. Alrighty, thank you for tuning in to this video, and take care. Bye-bye.